Good evening! Welcome to Easy 8's Online Painting Club. My name's Danny, says it right down there at the bottom of the screen. Week 60! Where are the weeks going? I hope you've had a wonderful week since the last time that we all met on last week's show. I've had people messaging me prior to coming on this evening's show. Some people apologising that they can't quite make it this evening. That's okay. It's fine. It's all stored on YouTube. You can go back and watch it later on if you want to. You don't have to. But thanks for messaging me nonetheless. It actually means quite a bit. We've got some people waiting for me over there in the chat. We got Jeff, oi, is the first one in. We got Stafford. Good evening all. Hi Staff. Hi Jeff. Thanks very much for coming along. It still feels weird calling you Jeff. Right, Dad? How's it going? We got Luke. Luke! I haven't seen you for ages, man. I hope you're doing really well. Is it Happy New Year? Have I spoke to you since then? I don't think I have. Happy New Year. He says, from the distance, you hear it, hey-oh, and recognise a familiar voice. Yeah, that's right. Critical success. Thanks very much. Dave Lester, evening all. Hi, guys. Thanks very much for coming along to the show. If you're new here, Easy 8 isn't a tutorial by any stretch of the imagination. It's just a place to hang out and paint stuff live, knowing that the company out there, these guys and more, and myself, making mistakes, making successes, and giving you some motivation and inspiration on the way. If you are painting something this evening, building something, or just working on something hobby-like, and you kind of just want the company, let me know, let us know. Type it in there, or if you're watching back later on, or you just fancy it, put it down there in the comment section. That's all cool. Yeah, brilliant. So last week, I had a stonking week. It was really good because I actually started a project and finished the project all in the same show. And what I've been working on recently is little cars for the game Gaslands. This is the Gaslands Refueled book. There was a little bit on that last week if you want to go back and have a little look. I don't go too much into the rules because it's not a rules show. If you want me to, I will. So yeah, a couple of days later, some friends, Stafford and Dave there, they got in contact. They came round and we had a game of Gaslands, and I used the little death bug. Put it in the bit so you can see it properly there. That's what the guys called it, the death bug. And I decided to kind of make it up as I went along. I just looked in the rule book. I was like, oh, what am I going to do? I decided rather than going for like the Mad Max themed, basics or basis for the teams, I went for pirates. They look really silly in the book. They're not really my flavour at all because their pirates are literally pirates, like the the cutlass wielding, sea shanty singing, seafaring people of the 1700s. And it really didn't kind of gel with me, the idea of linking that theme in with semi-futuristic dystopian car races didn't seem to merge. I mean, maybe it appeals to some people, it just wasn't for me. But I thought, there are other pirates, aren't there? There is the equivalent to that there is, like horrible real modern pirates. So I thought, why not kind of do that? So there's a lot of themes in their particular team rules for things like boarding parties and things like that. And after looking at the rulebook for just a few minutes, I kind of got this idea that their style of play, that team style of play, is all about throwing your own people overboard or out of the door or window or whatever hole you've got made in your vehicle, and stealing other people, and it just kind of perpetuates the whole game as you're going on. So the whole game really is about hazard control. The more you do certain maneuvers, the riskier things you do, the better you'll perform, but the more likely it is that you're going to stall your car, flip or wipe out or have an accident or something like that, which then puts you at a major setback. So basically the idea of these guys is that they do lots of hazardous things, and then they throw people out to kind of make up for it, like you shed the weight in the car, and then you need to make those people back up again. So you go and crash into other people and you steal people out of their car and put them in your car, and I won. It was really cool. A couple of guys with submachine guns in the back, and a guy who turfs steel nets out the side. Works really well. So I thought, do you know what, I've been working on some loose approximations of designs for my vehicles. Got the old, I'll show you up close in a minute, the old Ram car, which is the first one I did, and then this one kind of works on the same sort of theme. I thought, you know what, I'm going to do it. I'm going to make a little pirate team. Pirate team? That doesn't sound right. A pirate team. So I've got another car that I'm going to work on this evening. Stop wobbling the camera. dude, what are you doing? Yeah, and I'm going to see if I can start and finish it. I've already primed all the parts for this week's car because I did all the priming. It's kind of boring. If I can get it done early, then I will do. I've not had any time leading up to the show between weeks to do anything because we're just working life. You know how it is, and I kind of rely on this evening sometimes to get my stuff done. But that's cool. I'm going to do it. I'm going to have a good go at it. So, what car am I doing? Let's head on over to the workbench and I will show you. I've still got the creaky chair. I'm really soz. Really soz. I'm down with the modern speak. Here we go. So, this is last week's car. You might be pleased to know I sorted out my zoom function, so the autofocus is fine. Yeah, basically installing a new camera. Just decided it was going to change the resolution, so you were focused into like this tiny little rectangle up here. That was no good for anybody. But yes, if you're struggling to see what I'm putting on the screen this evening, just let me know, and I can zoom in, out. I can change the focus. It's all good. So yeah, this is the Death Bug. It's got a little bit of stuff stuck down in there, but there we go, it's gone. Cool, a little bit of dust or something. Yeah, I the next day going into like the normal daylight, I thought it all looked a little bit dark, but everybody said no, it's really cool, it's what they look like. And generally the smaller you go, the brighter you want things to be, and it looked a little bit dull. I could have brightened up the green a little bit, and I think that mostly that's down to the streaking grime that I used, because the green was quite bright, and the contrast between the rusty browns and the oranges and then the green original paintwork was really good. And then I put the streaking grime over it, and yeah, it blends it all in, but it loses all the detail. So this week I'm not going to do streaking grime like I suggested to myself. That was an obligatory cat hair I just moved off there. I don't know if you saw that. You've got to have one every week. Yeah. Basically, I'm going to use Agrax Earthshade, which is an acrylic version, so it should be easier, perhaps. I don't know. We'll give it a go. A little bit of minor chipping underneath, but it's underneath it. It's fine. I rushed it. It's cool. I don't know if it came off, since the paint job was put on, during that night, or if it was during the game. They do take a little bit of bashing. I'm not really worried about that. I could just kind of patch that in with a nice dark brown colour and then put another varnish over the top. I might do that later on. Yeah, whatever. It's all cool. It needs a little bit more work on him anyways. He's unfinished, really. He still needs his tyres sorting out, but that's fine. It was a rush, right? So, the Fiat X19. I don't really know what a Fiat X19 is, so I popped onto Google and had an image search. It's a cool little car from a few decades ago. It's much pointier than this. This is a Corgi car, so it's not even Matchbox or Hot Wheels. It's a very sleek looking retro car. I really liked it. I saw various different colour schemes of it. I like the gold one personally. I thought it was quite nice. There's a couple of red ones. Red looks really good on it, but the furniture inside this one is red, and I quite like that, so I'm going to keep that red. So I don't want red and red, that would be rubbish. So I was thinking maybe yellow. I've got a selection of reds and purples and things over. I've got a selection of yellows. I've got gold as well. I'm going to show you those, and I want to get your feedback on it. He's also going to have this one has a little window that sits in it. I'm going to keep the window in this one, just fancy having it. It might make a dirty window, that'd be kind of cool. And then I've got the undercarriage, which was black, but I decided to just give it a bit of a paint job so it doesn't look plasticky black against the painted parts of it later on. That was a quick job. You can see that only my fingers had taken some off the side, but that's all cool, that's fine. And this one kind of slots together, so making sure that I probably varnish the parts before I put them together might be like a really good idea, especially if I'm going to have the window in it anyway. I don't want that to go too frosty, or frosty at all really. So yeah, I'm going to have to varnish the parts before they go together. He has an exposed engine that sticks out the back, so I'm just going to do that black, and I don't know, might just make it look kind of grimy in there. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Jeff says, it's a cool little car if you're a hairdresser. Alright, rude to hairdressers and to me all over the place. Rubbish. Have my tea and be quiet for a second. That is a good cup of tea. It's been a long, cold day here in the southwest of the UK. I was outside painting most of it, and I have not been able to feel my fingertips, but I'm all warm now. I'm all warm. cozy. Right, I have just noticed that I've just missed a little bit here doing the priming on the back. So what I'm going to do, so I'm just going to pop a little bit of primer on there. But before that, I'm just going to show you the colours I've got. So these are the reds that I have. I've got a purple. I don't know really why I picked up a purple. It just happened to be in the same handful. I've got a gory red, which is a really dark red. I've got a scarlet red, which is really scarlet, and I've got a bloody red, which is like a really vibrant pop red, quite close to the furniture inside. I'm going to paint this anyway, so yeah, don't worry if it matches, I can always dull it down. So yeah, got some red colours. If you like those, let me know in the live chat. And my yellows I've got over here. I've got quite a few yellows actually. I've got a sun yellow, which I'm quite fond of. That's quite a dark, rich yellow. I like that one. I've got a gold yellow, which I don't really want to use because this is what the colour all my Tyranids are, and I don't want to overuse a colour in any of my other stuff. Do you know what I mean? So, like, the other colours in the box, just get them out. A moon yellow. This is really quite bright. It's very buttercuppy. And I've got a desert yellow, which really isn't a yellow, it's more of a khaki sand colour, but it had yellow in the title, so I thought I'd bring it out. If I give that a quick waz in the tornado making machine. Jeff says you could do a small Night Rider. Yeah, I could do. The Night Rider car, forget what that is. Oh, what is it? Oh man. Anyway, the Night Rider car kit is one of the cars that I was thinking about putting in my Japanese drift car team thing, but more on that a little bit later on. There we go, that's the desert yellow. Not really the sort of colour we're looking for, is it? Really, to be honest. Anyway, so those are the yellows. I've also got various golds and bronze colours, but I pulled out the glorious gold. I think that might work. I don't know. Anyway, you let me know what colours you think are really good. If we can't decide, I'm probably just going to go with a good old sun yellow. I like that, but let us know. I'm always interested in what you think, and frankly, the last couple of times that I've asked you for your opinions on colours, I went with it, and they came out really well. Last week, notwithstanding. Okay, where am I? I'm going to get a little piece of paper. Last week, I understand that it was quite difficult to see what I was painting because I had to change from a used piece of background paper to a fresh one, which made the white balance all over the place. It just dials out the contrast. I apologise. I had to do it because the paint job was so wet and sticky, or fresh. I was putting them down on the paper, and the texture of the paper was kind of pulling it away. I kind of had to compromise somewhere along the line. I'm going to try and not do it this week. It is awful. It's very unprofessional. I'm very sorry. I had a lot of complaints about it. I apologise. Man, leave me alone. No, don't leave me alone. I enjoy the company. Yeah, soz. So, I'm just going to put a couple of drops in the airbrush there of this primer. There we go. And all I'm going to do is just going to give it a dusting on the back. It's just primary models. I'm as lazy as the next person. Yeah, especially if you're painting straight onto bare plastic, like your little Warhammer kits or something. Prime them. I know your paint sticks to it, but the primer is really important, and it helps it stick, and you'll get a much better coating. And most acrylic paints, especially contrast paints, if you're into anything like that, they're affected by the colour underneath. Do it. But with the Hot Wheels cars or any kind of Gaslands project like this, really, because they're mostly metal, not always, but mostly, the acrylic paint that you're going to be using is going to have a really hard time trying to stick to the metal surface. So there we go. That's all I needed to do was that. So I'm just going to pop them over there. Here's the little engine piece over here. I think I'm just going to do that black and maybe do some like different colours in there. Maybe make it look quite rubbish. We got a new person joining the chat today. We got Ben Bicknell. Hey Ben, and little Jack checking in. Hi guys, thanks very much for coming along. Really happy to see some new names over there in the live chat. Do get chatty. Join in. You did join in a week or two ago, didn't you? Right at the last minute there. Ben joined us recently on Facebook. Hi. Ah, new people joining. Makes me well happy. Just going to flush the airbrush through just because it's got a bit of primer in there and I don't want it sticking around. I'm aware that my chair is creaking in the background. I've recently, when I say recently, it's all arrived in the mail yesterday. I've got a load of new equipment to basically the big PC unit behind me. It's my gaming rig basically, and I run the show off of my laptop. All the software for broadcasting is all on the laptop here, and then in the transition from moving from my old studio to here, I'm still using it, and it will take a lot of effort to get the PC set up with everything going, especially with the position of where the computers and the desk is, and stuff like that. So what I'm doing is I'm getting loads of new cables, loads of new hardware, so that the computer can stay where it is, and then I can run it through a new monitor over here. I've got all the kit now to be able to do that. It's just next door because when it got delivered I wasn't in, and I've been working really hard, so I haven't been here. So it's just a couple of feet that way, but yeah. And then because I've ordered all that new stuff and payday and everything, I'm going to get a new chair. I promise it's coming. I'm sorry, it's creaky in the background. Okay, has anybody decided on what colour it's going to be? Nope, cool. I'm probably going to go with gold and yellow, but I want to do blacks first because I want to do the undercarriage, get that done. It can sit and dry somewhere else. Get the engine bit done. There's a lot that kind of sticks out on it. There's like some air filtery things on the side. I'm just going to do it all black, and then worry about what I want to do later on. So where's my black colour? Here it is. This was like the tacky plastic chrome that you get, and it was all kind of, because this car is really old, it came from an old friend's collection from when they were a kid, and I was like, that one. And I like all the old ones that have like no class. And I like doing them up a little bit, give them a new lease of love. Otherwise they just go in the bin half the time, don't they? That's not cool. So a couple of drops of black. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 for luck. Hope that's black. Didn't actually check. It is! Success. Here we go. So, hopefully the glary white will disappear in just a second. As if I move my lights aside here. It's that one there that's doing it. There we go. That's a bit better. Right, okay, here we go. So, just a light dusting. That was not a light dusting, Danny. Just happy to be painting. And I literally do get trigger happy. Okay, so just going to come in on the underside here. Okay, some tricks and tips I've picked up from some pros is give it the lightest dusting you can. I've gone in quite heavy because I'm not really all that fussed. I'm rushing it because I can. And but yeah, basically give it the lightest dusting and then give it some air and let it dry, and then give it a couple of passes. Still taking it light, but you have to go as light as the first one, and then give it some air. Then just build it up, and it shouldn't take too long. Again, I could have brought my partner's hair dryer up, but I didn't. She's coming home from work early. She might know that I got it. Jeff says black with a Jolly Roger on the bonnet. No, gotta get away from the pirate themes. No, I do like pirates though. I just don't think they got any place in cars. It was cool though in the game. Like it was probably the most furious ending to a game I've ever played. And there was 3 of us playing, and then one person got right, literally within millimeters of the finish line, and then the person who was all the way at the back came in and took him out, and then we're about to win, and then I came in from the sidelines, and then I took that person out, and it was a wrestle, and there was hair pulling and all sorts. There was tears, but it's amazing what a little Volkswagen Beetle filled with bad intentions and SMGs will do for you. Okay, I just I dribbled. I'm really sorry if you saw that. Stafford says it was not cool. I was so close. It was cool, and yeah, you know what? I could probably say that because I won. But even if I didn't, it would have still been one of the funnest games I've ever played. Just because everybody worked so hard, everybody deserved to win it. And you know, Stafford, you didn't actually take any weapons on your vehicle. You took equipment, which can cause people problems, but that was the only thing that you took. I was bristling with guns. If you took any weapons, it was probably going to be a different story. I had to be aggressive with you because you took a sports car, like a high performance car. So the only way to really keep up with that is to blow you up, frankly. And we had a bit of a wrestling match early on in the game as well, didn't we? And that slowed us down, and while the other person went on ahead. Crazy times. It was great fun. So I'm like, yes. For this upcoming tournament that Stafford, myself, Dave, and a couple of others are all planning on doing, yes, for the time being, I'm going to go with Pirates. Because the Tokyo Drift style team that I want to do is actually just such a demanding little paint job. Dave's laughing there because he was the other person. Yeah, that's right. It's such a demanding little paint job that it's going to be... I'm going to be doing it so much to try and get it right that I don't think I'm going to make it in any reasonable time. So I don't want everyone to wait on me just because I'm trying to do a good paint job. So yeah, I'm going to do them. I've got 2 of the cars already. I'll show you those in a bit. Right, I'm going to do like I did with my other cars, a little black interior. For no other reason than I like to make a difference from the outside. If a little bit of paint goes on the outside from this, that's absolutely fine. I also like to make the wheel arch just a little bit blacker in there as well. When it comes to painting the actual colour on the outside of the body and it gets on the inside, that's fine, whatever. It's a Matchbox car, no one cares. I do believe, Dave, actually in that game of Gaslands you did the most beautiful aerial maneuver jump off of a ramp I've ever seen in a game. Landed perfectly, little maneuver at the bottom, no hazards at all, and then I shot you. It was a tough game. Someone had to win. This time it was me. I have a feeling though that in response you and Stafford are not going to be so kind to me in the future. Okay, there we go. A little bit of black on the inside there. I think what I'm going to have to do is keep on coming back to certain parts of this just to make sure they've all got a good coating, but I want to let it dry. So I've just got to keep my wits about me and just make sure that I'm not missing any bits or pieces. Make sure that I'm getting in and around the wheels in there. The colour that I used last week for the tyres, the Corvus Black from Citadel, it's a really good black because, Stafford says, multiple explosions. It was a little bit hairy, really was. Tyres ain't black. Some tyres are black nowadays because show cars and stuff, right? And different qualities of rubber. But generally, painting cars, tyres ain't black. This is a slightly off black. It's definitely worth using for your vehicles. The more period the vehicles get, so if they go back to the Second World War, they go brighter, they go like lighter grey. So this is a really good place to go, especially if you're doing small miniatures. Like I said, go lighter because the smaller a miniature goes, the lighter the colour should be. That's a professional touch for you. So yeah, Corvus Black, I liked it. If you look on this car here, even though I haven't done a very neat job of it, they still look black, right? But in the daylight and compared to the rest of the vehicle, the contrast, it suits it. Trust me. I don't know why I did a Dracula voice there. Just in time, the black has run out. That's good. That means I can just purge this brush. And then what I'll do is I'll go over to the body. No, I'm going to go to the furniture and I'm going to give it a little bit of paint. Even though it is red already. Red already. I want to paint it so that the shiny plastic sort of feel of it disappears. I don't want like the... I don't want the the aesthetic of the outside of the colours look really good, and then be kind of ruined by this glaring plastic cheapness on the inside if it shows through. I just don't want it. Stafford says, I don't know why. Okay. I'm going to have another sip of tea, because that's a good cup of tea, that is. Yum. Not a little mark on my Beetle there. It probably needs another varnish. I'll probably give it another coat later on when I'm doing this one. Right, let's get the furniture over. I can't remember what part of it actually shows. So if I was smart, I could probably paint like black or dark brown interior and make the seats red. But for now, I'm just going to get everything red in there. So I think a nice bloody red. I don't think I've used this one yet from my range. Let's give that a good waz on the old tornado making machine. That's right, waz, you heard me. Stepper says, being kind to you next game. I'm ready for it. Right. A nice bit of red. I think that matches quite closely, doesn't it? Brilliant. Just going to put a couple of drops in here, literally. 1, 2, there we go. That's all it needs. That's all it needs. Let's see how nice this comes out. Okay, quite thin. Red's, I've always struggled with red, painting it by hand. It's quite a thin colour. That is actually a perfect match of that plastic. So that's good. That'll give me a nice sort of painted vibe, feel to it later. It'll make me happy, no one else will care. What I'll do in a minute, actually, think about it, is I could... Am I actually getting anything out of there? If I just used all that paint up already? That's fine, whatever. I'll put another drop in there. I'm going to put like a stain or a wash in there or something, like a Guilliman Flesh or something, which I think will work quite well with the red. And if I concentrate that heavy into sort of like the interior parts and not the seats, then that should create like a nice sort of difference. Dave says, we will see what happens. Have you guys actually decided on what teams your sponsorships you're going to go with? I know that Stafford really likes the Mishkin, which is like the experimental weapons and high-tech teleporters and, you know, weird dynamo things. You really like those, and you took a step away from them a little while ago to go and play the Speed Cult, and it didn't work for you. Well, you didn't feel it, did you? You didn't like it. Dave, you got a couple of that you're interested in that, then that worked really well for you. And I'm interested, you know, what one you're actually contemplating going with. You're going to go for the kind of you know, the Mad Max slime, or do you like? Are you going to go for Idris, which is the speed coat? You like both of them, don't you? Or are you going to do something completely different? Kez, who is normally online, I don't think is online this evening, but Kez is contemplating Rutherford, which is the military contractor. So it's all about big boom and military hardware, tanks and helicopters and the like. Stafford says, buses with machine guns devastating. Yeah, yes, as we've worked out, machine guns and shotguns and the like are absolutely brutal. And basically, the more people you've got, the more people you can shoot with. Yeah, and it's just a big bucket of dice. Buses, they ain't very manoeuvrable, but if they park up beside you or pull up beside you and then let loose with bullets, you can't do anything about it. It's ridiculous. Luke says, red inside and out, definitely going to go faster. Orc noises. yeah. Orcs, they know the score. Red does go faster. It's going to be, if you remember, heavily chipped. So there's not going to be an awful lot of red on it. So this one's going to be more yellowy. Yellowy's going to be a yellow paint scheme. I've already decided. First of all, I need to get some rust on there, don't I? So where are the colours that I used for it? So last week I used charred brown. I really like charred brown. Dave says, think it might be Idris. Oh, okay, cool. Speed, guys. There we go. So charred brown. Yeah, it's one of my favourite. It's a must-have tool in my box, really. It's a really good brown. It feels a lot of solves a lot of problems for me across the board. It's really good rust, like a background rust. It's a really good mud color. It's a good tonal color. Yeah, charred brown from Vallejo. I love it. So a little bit of red in the mix. I'll pump that through. There we go. Okay, and again, just a light dusting. I'm not making it very light because again I'm rushing deliberately. I don't want to hang around on it. I want to get another project done, and then I'm away next week. Soz, I really am sorry that there's literally no way around it, but because I'm not going to be here next week, I want to have these projects, and then like on the few days that I've got, I'll just like neaten them up and finish them off properly, and then I can stick them on Instagram. And I haven't posted on Instagram for ages. If you haven't seen Easy8's Instagram page, there's a link to it just down there. Please go and have a look at it. There's not a lot on there at the moment, or not a lot of new stuff on there lately. I plan to change that, but you can find us on Facebook, you can find us on Instagram, here on YouTube, obs. And we've got the Easy8 after party on Discord, which I will be on this evening because I'm not going to be here next week. You can have a chat with me. Luke's normally on there, hasn't been for a while, but maybe it will be Luke. That'll be lovely to see you again. Come and join in the video chat. Type if you don't want to talk. Don't have to show your face. That's absolutely fine. But you get to talk to everybody. The whole community's there. Chris from Germany. Hi Chris, if you're watching. Chris often watches in the background silently. Caught up with Chris very briefly last week for the first time this year. Lovely to hear Chris's voice again. Chris is a dude. Cool dude. So is Luke. Didn't want to leave Luke out. And yeah, hopefully when the new PC is taking over the show, I might be able to start streaming onto Twitch as well and do a little bit of cross-platform. That'd be great. Yeah. And so a close friend of mine, a friend I've known for nearly 30 years. I'm that old. I shared this house with him for 15 years. Nearly 15 years. Moved out recently to go seek pastures, new opportunities in life. Best of luck, Mark, if you're ever watching this episode. Thinking of you always. He sent me a Christmas present in his absence, and it was Tank Mechanic Simulator on Steam, with a little message saying, "Happy Christmas. Here's a video game that you never knew you didn't need." And I thought, what is this? Really? A tank mechanic simulator? So niche. It is so cool. I cannot put it down. It's amazing. Because I do a lot of model tanks, and the more I sort of research to make sure that I get everything right or learn what something is and understand it a bit more, I've ended up looking into all these things. A lot of research into all these bits and pieces. And this game's been teaching me. It's dull to watch for sure, but maybe if you're really into watching people play Tank Simulator or Mechanic Simulator, you can come and watch me on Discord, where I play it sometimes, or over on Twitch. And if it's boring to watch, I can do it rabidly drunk, if that makes it any more entertaining. But with the opportunities that Twitch will provide, if there are games that have some sort of crossover relevance to what I do here on this show, I'm more than happy to see how it goes. I've not been able to do Twitch before because the old laptop and my old internet connection couldn't keep that going. Basically, it caused all sorts of problems. There is another dodgy link that is in the live chat. We're starting to get those quite a bit lately. That's by someone called Green Dixon. If that's a link, don't touch it. I don't know why that's started happening lately, but people are watching the show. If you're watching the show, Green Dixon, hello, just go and get some paint stuff, man, and paint something. I have to put that rubbish in there. Whatever. Anyway, look, we've got brown on it. I'm going to wait for that to dry, so I'm just going to put some air over it. Just to help speed that up a little bit. I don't want to turn it over and pop it on the roof, because last week, if you remember, I had to put it on softer paper. That caused a massive contrast problem, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try and get as dry as I can by blowing some air over it. And I've got a little bit of tissue just down there, and I'm going to put it on the tissue that my other car came in. I'll show you that a little bit later on. I want to turn it over just to make sure that I get all like the underside, any of the overhang areas and things, just to make sure that I get a really nice colour. It's a really nice base for any rust colours, and it works in any scale. I know I said, you know, like the smaller you go, the lighter you want to go, but this works, man. It's cool. Okay, I'm out of paint there, that's fine. Just a little bit of air. Right, let's get some tissue. Here we go. Oh, that's actually some rubbish tissue. I should not have done that. What have I got here? I've got a piece of tracing paper that an old transfer came in. It's just something soft, just to lay it on upside down while I look at the underside here. Because the texture of this paint will just damage the paintwork there. Staff says, ooh, has the Porsche arrived? Yes. Let me get this. Do you know what? I'll let that dry on the side. I was going to say let me get that finished, but no. So, yeah, the Tokyo drift scene that I want to do. Do you remember I said I had a couple of cars in mind that I wanted to do with it? I wanted the DeLorean. I have one because Dave Lester in the chat was really, really kind and got me a DeLorean. It's beautiful. I almost don't want to paint it because it looks so cool. I don't know much about DeLorean. I obviously know that it was featured heavily in Back to the Future, but I don't. Is it even called the DeLorean? Was that a name that it was given for Back to the Future? I don't know. I know that it's DMC, and I know this because I happen to just know it, but also it does just clarify under here DMC, DeLorean. Was the DeLorean a popular car? I don't know an awful lot about cars. I just know that it's, you know, got wheels and it moves. But I think it looks awesome. Thanks, Dave. I really appreciate that. I know I said thank you when he gave it to me, but, you know, cheers, man. It's lovely. So that's a DeLorean. I wanted cars that looked really retro, like really 80s, and I'm going to paint them up synthwave. I might leave this one last because it's so nice. It's really cool, right? So yeah, DeLorean. Got the DeLorean. Cheers, pal. Really appreciate that. Stafford was going to give me a Porsche 911, but I managed to find this one on eBay. Now, this is... I was looking for a Porsche 911, the standard 911, from 1982. Every year through the 80s right through the 90s, a different chassis type came out for the 911, and there are various versions of it as well. There was the Spider, there was the Carrera, there was another one that begins with T that I can't remember right now, but it's the standard 911 that really speaks to me. The 1982 chassis is just beautiful. It's my favouriteest car ever. And it's really hard to find a Hot Wheels or a Matchbox or a Corgi car of it. Stafford had quite a modern looking one, but it wasn't so modern that all the iconic styles on it, like, you know, like the rounded forward facing headlights on the car here. I love that. And the modern ones, they don't have that anymore. It's very sleek, it's very boxster, and I'm not really a fan of it. They all seem to lose the little spoiler on the back. Now, this is still an early 80s Carrera 911, so it's still not exactly what I was looking for, but it's the closest one that I had. Stafford's one was just a little bit too modern, though it was a very good shot in the dark. Thanks, Stafford, I really appreciate that as well. This is as close as I can get. There was a 911 that was closer, but it was £115 on eBay. And I don't want to strip that down and paint it because it probably means a lot to a collector or that owner, and they may not want that to happen. And also, it's for a game of Gaslands, and I don't want to pay that money for it. It's a car, right? So yeah, I've got a Porsche 911 Carrera. If I find, or if anyone finds, the 1982 version, all you got to do is type it into Google. In fact, you'll probably be blown away by the amount of images of the same car that is for sale. Someone's done one up. It's gorgeous. If you see it, let me know, and I will have a look at it so that I might be able to buy it. The toy version, of course, because I can't afford the real one, and if I could, I would have it. So yeah, this is the other car. So this is the Porsche, and it's going to be done up in the same colours. They're going to be done like magenta and probably blues, and I've got some if I'm going to take my time with them, which I probably will now, I've got some really cool modding ideas to do with them as well. They're going to be very minimal on the weapons front. I may not even put weapons on them at all. It depends on what I decide later on. All the cars come with drivers with handguns, and you can swap those out for submachine guns and things like that. So you don't have to model anything on them if you don't want to, but there are options for you. So I don't have to like destroy them by drilling holes out or putting weapons on them or turrets or anything stupid like that. So the idea is that it's all skills, it's all finesse, and it's all about throwing donuts around the around the track and spinning around and doing those cool things. So yeah, Porsche 911, not the 911 that I wanted, but it's as close as I could get for a price that I was willing to pay. This was £4. Thank you very much to the person who sold it to me on eBay. There you go, cool. So I've got the two cars. The other one, I'd like a Ferrari, probably the Testarossa. I think it's a fantastic looking car. Its design is pretty much unchanged through the 80s, so unlike the Porsche 911, it wasn't like the 82 version was wildly different than the others. It has that kind of throwback retro look to it that I was really looking for. I really wanted that kind of Miami Nights feel to it, you know what I mean? And then the other car I was thinking about was probably going to be some sort of Lamborghini. I do like the Countach. But again, with Lamborghinis, I'm not too familiar with all the different models. It's just something that was kind of in the back of my head. I had like 4 Micro Machines when I was a kid. They're really little tiny cars. I had the 911, I had a Ferrari, I think it was an F40, and there was a Lamborghini in there, and then there was another one that I can't remember. And those cars are stuck with me as iconic sort of 80s throwback cars, and I just thought that it was what I wanted. Dave says, paint it like Jazz. Yes, Jazz is the 911. It's a gorgeous car, isn't it? Yes, I could paint it like Jazz. That would be awesome. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely mortified to find out that Jazz died in the first Transformers film by Michael Bay. Michael Bay, what is wrong with you? He was the best dude in the whole thing. Anyway, rant over. Stafford says DeLorean was a real brand. The cars were not painted. They were lacquered to prevent rust, but no paint. Wow, no kidding. So that's why it's all shiny metal colours. I didn't know that. That's cool. Jeff says it cost him a fortune to make the DeLorean, so he sold a suitcase of drugs to some bad guys to get more money. Trouble was they were the FBI. Are you for real? Is that seriously? Is that a real thing? Have I just learned something that's really kind of cool? I mean, not cool, but kind of cool. Crazy. What? For the FBI. Trouble was they were the FBI. Wow, he needs a flux capacitor. That'll get him out of trouble. Anyway, let's go back to the main thing here. A rusty chassis, or rusty hull, sorry, body, rusty body. Get my words out. Where's my brown gone? There it is. I see it. Right. Hopefully my airbrush is still working. It is. Okay, cool. I'm going to put a couple more drops of this brown in there, and I'm just gonna get there's like a couple of undercuts here and there that just need a little bit of brown in them. I'm just going to put 3 drops in there, and that's probably too much. Okay, here we go. So just the underside here. There's quite a few undercuts actually. The underside of the doors because the car actually kind of curves down and around. I'll put your fingers right in it, Danny. Well done. What an idiot. There we go. Let's get the rest of the paint out of the airbrush there. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move over to one of my orange colours. Again, it's the acrylic colours for rust. I don't use the I don't want to use my enamel set of rust colours here. although they were very good on the bug here, but because I used the streaking grime, it was the rust colours that saved the rust colours. Because the streaking grime just covered over the orange acrylic colour that I put down. So yeah, I had to use the rust orange. Where is it? So yeah, here's the streaking grime that I used. It is really good. It gives a good effect, but it just covered over everything. So then I used light rust to kind of bring the oranges back out. It saved the colour scheme, but yeah, if I don't use the streaking grime, I may not have to worry about the orange. Jeff says it's real. Man, crazy. It cost him a fortune to make the DeLorean, so he sold a suitcase of drugs to some bad guys to get more money, and they were the FBI. Is that why we don't see DeLoreans anymore? That's mental. Okay, so put the engine block over there. A little bit of orange. I've got two oranges. I've got hot orange and orange fire. One's brighter, one's darker. Go for the bright one. I'll give that a jazz. I said jazz because you said jazz earlier on. That was my little homage to Transformers. Do you remember when the first Transformers movie came out, the animated one in 1986? Yeah, that's right, I even know the date it came out in. I was a big Transformers fan. And it opened, and it was just a music video. We were like, wow, this is cool. And it had some fantastic opening cinematics. And then it zoomed down to the planet. There was Hot Rod. And then every kid everywhere went, who's that? And they made that film just to kill off a load of Transformers and make new characters for new toys. And everybody hated that. I loved the film. But yeah, there was a kid in Germany who hated the fact that Optimus Prime died so much he locked himself in his bedroom for 2 weeks. Crazy. Right. So, what I'm going to do with this colour here is I'm just going to do some patches. That was probably a bit too much. I just done the whole bonnet there, but whatever. And I'll let that dry, put a bit of air on it, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to do some more intense areas within that little patch. Like that. And it should give me quite a nice mottled, random, natural looking rust effect. But it needs to dry so I don't kind of blow it around, because orange is a really thin pigment paint and it has trouble drying opaque. And it might be that to kind of bring it out with all the colours on there, that I might have to go back and use the enamel paint. That's fine. If I've got to do that, I'll do it later on. I like to put a little bit around where the windows go, around the pillars and things like that. The trick is, again, is to not go in so heavy so quick. Just build it up with some, like, almost like a rapid dusting effect. Because I can saturate a whole area and do this in the corner, but that's not going to dry with any kind of opaqueness. So the airbrush, yeah, is fast in some ways, but you still got to kind of take your time. It's actually quite handy having this little bit of tracing paper. This just came from the Panther model and the transfers, which I've all used, so this is just holding those protected. Just a couple of spots that are really quite heavy with the orange. Don't have to go crazy with it, but you can do if you want to. You know, there's no real rule to this. I mean, if I had done like a lot of research and I was doing something very accurate, then obviously I'd want to kind of have some like source material on the side and be like, this is how I'm going to do it, man. You know, copy a picture perfectly and it will look beautiful, but it's for Gaslands. Small, it's a fast game. You could even get someone on a toothbrush and flick it and kind of have like, you know, spattered rust effect. Sometimes the airbrush does like spit and it kind of goes down sort of bubbly, but today the airbrush is working perfectly and it's not doing it at a time when actually it wouldn't matter if it did. But you know, that's the way it goes, right? Okay, I'm gonna just give him a bit of air and I'm gonna roll him back over, and I'm just gonna make sure that the undersides get a little bit of attention too. That DeLorean fact has got me reeling. That's unbelievable. I genuinely didn't know that. As you could probably tell by my shocked attitude. Don't sell drugs, guys. Crazy. Anyway, cool. Right, let's just put that over there for a minute. Slide him off to the side where he can just dry over there. We've got any tea left? Yeah, we've got a little bit. So, on the front of this piece of furniture here is the front of the bumper. I don't really know what to do with that. I might just paint it black, and then later on, if I want to, I can like dry brush it, steel colours. Dave says still looks good though. Oh, I see. Jeff says the FBI filmed the drugs deal in a hotel room as they arrested him. You can see it on Google. Think the car cost more than he could sell them for, and it was a piece of junk with problems. Oh man, that's a shame. Oh, well, it won't be in my team. It'll be amazing. And then Dave says still looks good. Oh, okay, cool, thanks. So, black. If I do that black, I could put another layer on the engine, and I could put another layer on the wheels and the underside now. So I will do that now. Where is my black colour? Seriously, where is it? There it is. Okay, cool. We've got a few minutes before we go for an intermission, and that'll be a good opportunity for all of this to kind of dry and set, and then I can come back in with some chip and medium. And I'm quite excited about the next stage. We all know what happens there. And it all seems to be sort of coming together quite well. Everything was very rushed last week. I'm still rushing now, but it was all last week I didn't really know what was happening, and I was trying to squeeze it all in, make sure that it was, you know, that it was all done by the end of the show. I feel like, even though I'm flying through it, it's kind of easy, if that makes sense. I don't feel the pressure of time. And then later on I won't have it finished and be like, what? So I pop that engine block down there. Get this little bit here. So was the DeLorean supposed to be like a performance car? Was it supposed to be all bells and whistles, singing and dancing? Or was it just some guy's deluded pet project that he had on the dining table? I don't, you know. I mean, I know the thing can go back in time and all. There we are. That's a bit of black done on this little bit. Not an awful lot of that sticks out. It's just it kind of clips in, so it may even kind of shred off when it's all put back together again. And that is a fear of mine. So I am preparing myself for the fact that I might have to do a little bit of touching up on it later on. That's cool though. Whatever. I don't know where to put it now that I've painted that, because it's going to touch something. There we go. That's cool. Okay, back to the underside. I'm just going to get those wheels done in black now, because they're going to be quite difficult to do otherwise, and I'll forget about them. Actually, in shot, I have to keep on checking up. He wants to make the C5 or the CS. Is that CS? I can't quite see. C5, isn't that a Citroen? Oh man, I've run out of paint and I'm halfway through. Think fast. Primer pot, gonna rest it on top. Oh, like a glove. Jeff says C5. Oh, like what, the Citroen C5? My partner drives a C3. I don't know how I feel about her driving a car that was funded by drug runs. Another 3 drops of black in there, and that should be enough just to finish off this bit. Like I say, the only reason I'm doing this is just so that it's all painted and I can say that it's all been painted, and it just keeps my overactive brain happy so that I can sleep at night. Cool. Right, that's that done. I'm just going to pop that there and just make sure that I've got the engine. Just going to give that a little bit of air because I went quite heavy in there to make sure that it went into some of the harder to reach details. And I'm just going to give it another quick blast before I put it away. Stafford says C5 Sinclair. What was Sinclair, wasn't it? Was a pedal car. Shut up, really? This guy had some problems. Sounds like he still got them. If you're going to pedal to 88 miles an hour to get back in time, that's a lot of pedaling. FBI, man. He must have been a bit of a wheeler dealer in the first place if they were onto him, you know? Anyway, that's crazy. Right, I'm just making sure that I've got every bit painted. There's a little bit on the inside of here that I just want to... There we go. Cool. Right. Oh, and look at that. I've just emptied the hopper. Brilliant. Let me just get a little bit of water and cleaner mix. Run that through the hopper. Purge the airbrush. And we will take a break in just a minute. So, yeah. It's going well. I'd love to know what your projects are this evening, so if you are working on something today, even if it's minor and mundane, let me know. I'd love to know. If you're having a good evening, if you're getting through stuff fast and you're having fun, let me know. I'd love to know about your successes. If you're finding it a bit of a drudge, that's what this show is for. Let us know. Share in the pain, knowing that people struggle sometimes with you. I struggle. I've barely finished anything in over a year that I've been running the show. I know the pain, man. Come and tell me about it. Put it in the live chat. Let us know. Drop it in the comment section. Stick it on Facebook. There we go. Once we come back... Oh, there's still paint in there, man. Get out. I'm going to put a bit more water to it. Yeah. After the show, I'm going to talk about an exciting opportunity that I hope is going to go through. But more on why it may not in a minute. Basically... Easy 8 are going out and you can come and join us, and I'm going to talk about that after a 10-minute pit stop. So if you need to go stretch your legs, go refocus your eyes, now's the time to go and do it, but you should definitely go and change your paint water. See you shortly. Bye bye. welcome back. Yeah, had an interesting intermission. Once again, my cat was in the studio, snuck in, didn't even know she was in here, sat under my chair. So I rolled over her. That was a traumatic experience. She's okay. Poured myself a pint. Let everything dry. Everything's good. Of course, today is a sad day because in the news this morning, Meatloaf sadly passed away. And this is... I wasn't the biggest Meatloaf fan in terms of his music. I liked the guy, I thought he was pretty cool, and my partner was a massive fan of his music and of his acting. So it's been a bit of a sad day in the house, really. So for the very little that I can do, cheers to Meatloaf. And it's made me think that I know what I'm going to do with this car. I'm going to call it the Bat Out of Hell, in homage to him. It looks a bit sportier than the other cars in the team, so I'm probably going to make it a performance car and make it the fast one out of the whole bunch. And yeah, Bat Out of Hell seems to go quite well with that, doesn't it? Some exciting little conversations going on in the live chat during that intermission. Wobbly camera again, totes soz. Totes soz. How much beer have I just had? Crazy. Jeff says that he's just finished 14 Iron Age roundhouses. I finished a car. I've seen the roundhouses and they are absolutely incredible. Jeff is my dad. He runs his own business called Purple Line Creations. If you haven't heard of them before, there's a link down there in the description. Definitely head on over there and have a little look, even just for inspiration if you're not going to buy anything. But basically he does custom builds, like private commissions, terrain buildings, kind of anything really, and provides stuff to the world over. And I'm not just saying it because he's my dad. He's incredibly talented. And Leslie, actually, who isn't present this evening, Leslie's actually bought some stuff from him recently and was blown away. He's an incredible artist. Someone's ordered about 18 feet of Iron Age earthworks, like all the ramparts and the hills and all the spikes, and I've seen the injuries that making this is involved. It's a hell of a thing. Dad, if you want to, by all means, go and share all of your pictures from Purple Line Creations. Go and stick them all over the Easy 8 page if you want to kind of get the pictures and your name out there a little bit. That's what the Easy 8 platform is for. By all means, please go and do it. Anyone's interested, go and have a look because it's really, really cool. And to go along with all of those earthworks, the roundhouse as well, they are really, really cool. They're all handmade, sculpted thatch roofs, and I've never seen so much terrain apart from the rolling hills that you once made. But they're all magnetic. Everything all kind of slots together, so you can kind of mismatch. You can mix and match. That's better. Mix and match all the things together if you want to. It's incredible. There's so many stakes in it, like so many wooden poles with spikes on. Yeah, you can see where the injuries occurred. Yeah, so head on over, have a little look, and it's nice to know that you finally got those finished. Graham Henderson, hi Graham, nice to see your face in there again, mate. I hope you're doing well. He says, I've just finished the body of an Astra Militarian Baneblade. That's the really big tank. I'd love to see some photos of that. Do stick it up on Facebook if you're inclined to do so. I also popped onto Facebook earlier on and I went over to Wet Palette Miniatures to have a little look and see what was going on over there. And a few weeks ago I mentioned that Graham Henderson owns Wet Palette Miniatures, which is a painting service for you. And I put some little pictures up of the Dreadnought that was kind of sat, broken down and covered in moss and vines and things. And I believe you finished it, Graham, and it was a little video of it being packaged and sent to its client in Australia. It's an incredible miniature, and I saw some sneaky pics that you're putting up on the Facebook groups out there. It's absolutely fantastic. There is a link to Wet Palette Miniatures also just down there in the description. You should definitely head on over there. Graham, I've actually got a commission coming your way, linked through Easy 8. Someone's asked me to get in contact with you, and I'll be chatting with you about that hopefully over the coming days, so watch this space. But yeah, Wet Palette Miniatures, Graham Henderson, absolutely brilliant artist. Go and check him out, it's worthwhile. Luke, Graham says brew time. Yeah, I know, man. Luke says working on AOS on an AOS thing, that's Age of Sigmar thing, specifically a breaker boss on a thing. Breaker boss, is that the orcs, the new orcs? That'd be cool. Total High is like a mini Imp Knight progress pics on the Discord. Okay, cool. Head on over to Discord, have a look at Luke's stuff. Luke's always doing stuff, like there's something new every week. He gets through so many projects. I wish I had your haste. Yeah, go check him out. He's cool. Jeff says, think I was wrong on the C5, my bad. Taking pics tomorrow, we'll send them to you. Yeah, stick them over there on the Easy 8's Facebook page, get it out there, get it known. Graham Henderson, one is up now, it goes tomorrow. Oh, I bet you're sad, I bet you've been working on that. It's become like part of the furniture, really, isn't it? It's a shame to get rid of them sometimes. Well, best of luck to it. I hope it makes the travel well. So here we go then. Let's get on with this project. I'm going to take you on over to the workbench and we will discuss the upcoming opportunity to go on a show. So I'm a little bit concerned about it because, you know, the world, COVID, etc. Some big shows in the UK have been planned to be going ahead and they've been pulled at the last minute. There's PAWS, the PAWS, which is the Plymouth Amateur Wargaming Society, is an event that me and Jeff from Pepperline Creations go to every year. That one has just been cancelled the other day. Salute is the UK's largest war game convention. I believe for 2022. Was that pulled as well? It might still be on, that's up in the air. But Bovington Tank Museum down in the southwest is a brilliant place to go, and they are running the Southwest Model Show in February the 19th and 20th, and it is an event that I do intend to go to and represent Easy 8. I want to go and have a look at the museum, I want to go and have a look at the model show, I want to be there. And I've extended the invitation out on Facebook and to a few people privately who I speak to regularly, and we got a little bit of a presence that really wants to go. Unfortunately, I'm not a big enough operation here to offer discounts or work in alliance with the Tank Museum in any way, so I can't offer discounts of anything like that. But what I can do is extend to you an invitation to want to go. It's going to be a great opportunity to meet the people who watch this show coming from all over the country. There's a lot of viewers here who watch retrospectively from the States, and that's obviously going to be very difficult to attend. But if you do make it, that'd be great. I'd love to see you. But basically, to the people in the UK, it's a great opportunity to kind of get together and actually kind of meet you in the flesh if you want to. I would absolutely be humbled if some of you guys actually came down from wherever you are in the country to come on down and be a part of that weekend. For myself, I would like to very much go for both days. It's actually quite close to me. It's a few hours away, so I can make the trip backwards and forwards, and there is accommodation in and around the area, so it's not too hard for if you wanted to. If you are interested, let's get a little dialogue going in the show if you want to. I'll be on Discord for a little bit after the show, but I always watch everything that goes up on the Facebook page. So if you want to get a discussion going on there, I will put a link to the official link from Bovington Tank Museum. I will put a link to it on the Facebook page after the show. I think I've actually put one in the description to the video. Have a little look down there. I can't remember if I have or not, but I will put one up on Facebook after later on, and I'll start off a little thread. And if you're interested in going, there are a few people that are already, and I would love to make a thing about it. So if you want to, it's a great opportunity, and it might be, as Jeff's just said there, Salute is off for 2022. That's a shame. It may be the only one that we get to go to this year. So yeah, it's a little bit last minute, it's early in the year, but I'm gonna go, man. I'm gonna do it. So back to my X1/9. I've got the hull all done here in orange and brown. I'm going to keep that little piece of tissue under there. It's like a little piece of tracing paper. It's brilliant. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with some chipping medium. Give it a little shake. I don't know why, I just like to shake things. And I'm just going to put a few drops in there. Maybe 3. See where that goes. I found last week when I was putting this through that the lighter I went with it, and it kind of sounds a bit obvious, but the lighter I went with the chipping medium, it took a bit more work with the scrubbing to remove the paintwork, and where it was heavier and blobbier, it became more easier. But I had a random amount of it all over the hull. I keep calling it the hull. It's the body, right? So I'm going to try and do that again. Chipping medium is a weird solution. It wants to come out frothy and lumpy, and if you're using it for the first time, you're putting it through, you're like, what is going on? I was like, what is this? This is crazy. Don't worry about it, it's fun. It's what it does. And yeah, I said this last week. If you're new to this stuff and you're putting it down, it takes so much practice. It's not an easy thing to learn, but once you kind of got your way of doing it, it does allow you for some quick results, which is ideal for projects like this, I think, because it's how much you put on, how much time you let it dry, how long you let the paint on top dry over the top. They're all different factors, and there's like an almost infinite amount of ways that you can do it. Yeah, I've put on what I think I'm gonna stay with now. I'm just gonna get rid of the last of that, just chuck it on the cloth on the paper. 3 drops probably too much. Chuck a bit of water in, let's dilute that down, and then let's purge that out, and then let that dry. Not very long, just enough that the wet sheen kind of disappears. I'll speed it up a little bit with the airflow again, and then I'll paint right over the top of it. Let that paint dry, and then I agitate it off. Jeff says, we'll look at other show dates. Yeah, I work for a living. I work a very demanding schedule. So getting all of the shows off throughout the year is going to be nigh impossible. I would absolutely love to go to Salute, and it's a real shame that that's been cancelled. But I understand it, and you can't be angry with it. It's done. There's no point in getting cross or upset. It is what it is, right? And they're doing it for the right reasons. And especially with Paul's closing, which normally is on sort of mid-February, roughly the same sort of dates as the tank museum. With that one gone, that's the one I'd like to go to. It's really small, it's really amateur, and I love it. I think there's a place for amateur. I think there's a place for pro. Don't get me wrong, like there's pros there as well. Like, you know, there's proper businesses and everything there. It's just small, I suppose. It's a small one, and I love it. Absolutely love it. And my goal for Easy 8 is to get bigger, and to start meeting people, and mingling with the community, and hobnobbing, I suppose, with the bigger boys out there. Getting to know all the businesses, and especially the private businesses like Graham, for example, who has his own painting service, so that through Easy 8 I can help promote these people, because the big businesses have an advantage, and they deserve it, for sure. They deserve it, but in a world where we have such free access to so much stuff and things, stuff and things. Luke will put that on Discord later. Stuff and things. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so much of it out there, it's so easy to go to, but there's talent that we're missing out on, and I really want to use Easy 8 to help support those people. I've got some ideas to release products myself. I'm actually working on some products with Purple Line Creations, with my dad, to bring out some unique terrain that was originally designed for Gaslands, because it's a game that I've been playing a lot recently, but could be adapted for any game. We are both very excited about that, and we will be looking to release products hopefully as the year goes on. And obviously I have the platform to promote it, but there's other people out there too. Go and see them, go and get stuff from them, and have fun with the hobby, and have a mixture of stuff. Get some stuff from well-known providers of terrain, or painting services, or even games, and then get some stuff from other people too. Right, looks a little greasy, which is normal for this stuff. Looks very patchy, that's okay. I can kind of see how it's dried, where the paint's going to kind of come off, and that's quite exciting. So I'm going to let that dry just for a second longer. Just going to move that over there. That's a very handy piece of paper. Move that chipping medium pot away. And now I'm going to go back to the furniture over here. So I painted red inside. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of Gilliman flesh in there. Gilliman. So contrast paint. I'm going to give it a real shake because they're really chalky. Gonna give it a waz on the tornado. There we go. And I'm just gonna put it in and see what happens. Where's my nice brush? Where is it? Has the cat got it? No, there it is. Okay. I'm just gonna put some in on the interior, on the dashboard, where you're less likely to see some things. Okay, cool, I can go in quite heavy. I just wanted to see how it looked. I didn't want it to look rubbish. And then kind of like it be really prominent. If I just get it all around the chairs in there, and I'll let that dry, and then I'll come back in, I'll do another coat over it later, including over the chairs. I actually make sure I'm in shot. And then what will happen is that the surrounding area around the chairs will be darker because they will have had more on it, and then it will all kind of blend in, and yeah, won't just look all stock one colour. I'll have some sort of differentiation. You know what I'm trying to say. It will look different then. How is the camera this week, guys? Is it okay? Is it in focus? Is the colour right? Is it zoomed in enough? Would you like it further? Let me know. Feedback is always appreciated. In the next few weeks, I actually plan to go with the 1080p. Shut the fridge. I know. 1080p. We're moving into the 21st century. Okay, cool. Just do a little bit there. Pop that down. Wash the brush out. So also something else that I've been thinking about quite a bit recently, but also for a long time, is EZ8 merchandise. And I thought that with the possibility of getting everyone together, or certainly myself making an official appearance at an event, that would be really cool to have some proper merch. I don't really have a great deal of subscribers or even regular viewers, but merch is something that I definitely want to do. So, you know, t-shirts or polo shirts, nice polycotton like I like to wear here, or hoodies, things like that, because, you know, if I'm going to wear something at the tank museum, I want to be able to show it, but I don't want to be cold wearing a t-shirt. I want to wear a hoodie, so I might get some hoodies made. If you're interested in some EZ8 merch, let me know. A couple of people have said they're really interested. But, you know, do I go out and buy a massive bulk and have 100 hoodies that no one's ever going to buy? Or is there just, you know, a couple of you that I know that I can go and make a private order somewhere? If you're interested in EZ8 merch, I'd love to help out and supply that for you. But yeah, kind of looking for some feedback on that front too. Maybe you want a mug, an EZ8 mug. Maybe you want a hat. You can have a hat, man. Maybe you want some stickers to put on your car. I don't know. Get an EZ8 tattoo. Show your commitment. Do it. Do it now. Right, I got my yellow. Here it is. I hope, and I'm just thinking about it, I hope that the colour yellow doesn't clash with the rust. We'll find out. Right, so I'm not going to saturate it. It's very tempting to want to do that. I've got to give it a light dusting. I'm going to put about 7 or 8 drops in there. That's probably even more, because yellow, again like the orange, is a weak pigment colour. And it's tempting to want to saturate the whole thing. But I'm going to resist. I'm going to build it up a little bit. That's not bad saturation. A light dusting. Take away that glossy shine of the chipping medium. It's almost imperceptible how much I put down. That's normal. Give it some air. Let that dry. What time are we at? 8:30. I've got to get a move on. We're not too far though, are we? We know where we're at. I've got to chip this down and then varnish it, and then we're pretty much done, really. Bit of air on this side over here. Starting to get a little bit of a blockage in the needle end there, so I'm just gonna get a cotton bud out of my supplies drawer here. I get a big pack of bamboo cotton buds. Get them, they're great. Better for the environment than plastic ones. And they are good quality as well. Just clean that needle tip down. That's better. The trouble is that I'm using brown as a base for a really light pigment colour, so it will take a little bit of layering. But as I can see from the colour going down on the tissue there, it's a beautiful yellow. Yellow's my favourite colour. Those of you that know me in person know that I've got a lot of yellow. My house is yellow on the inside. I have a yellow jacket that I wear all the time. You know, my curtains are yellow, my walls are yellow. I'm actually a little bit yellow crazy. Probably need to stop that. It's just a happy colour, right? It's bright and cheerful, and most of the time when you ask people, what's your favourite colour? Blue, green, red. Yeah. Someone said to me the other day, orange. Build up a bit heavier there, look. Starting to come out now, isn't it? Yeah. Getting close with the air. Oh, I've gone through that yellow quick. Let's get some more in the hopper, fast. I'm just going to pour liberally. There we go. Because I know I'm going through it so quickly. Bit of air. While that's going, see if I can multitask. Yeah. Jeff says, easy 8 tanker's helmet to wear as you paint. Yes! I really want that. I want that more than anything. Oh look, we're getting more weird comments in there. Sorry about that, guys. If anyone knows anything about YouTube and how to stop that rubbish, let me know. Guys, don't leave rubbish comments in there. Get involved in the painting. Yarim Jomo. Oh, I've chosen the wrong colour here, haven't I? Easy 8 tanker's helmet, yes. Wonder if I can find a fabric printer that has those in stock. Getting somewhere. Crazy. Starting to see that yellow come through now. Yellow. Yellow was a bad choice. I love yellow. I love how it goes over base colours really well. Oh, easy 8 yawn club. What can you do, eh? So I've got a couple of weapons that I've had crudely blue tacked to the front of this car in the past, and they look like this. They're identical, and I think they come from like old Mech Warrior things that were given to me by a friend ages and ages ago, and I just kind of had them blue tacked to the bonnet. Weapons are a massive part of Gaslands. You can play it without weapons. It can be just a driving game if you want to, but there's lots of really cool weapons, especially in Refueled, which is the new version of the game. And it adds so much flair and flavour to your teams and danger, and yeah, it gets bonkers, man. You can have miniguns on turrets, or guns that pop through your window or out the headlights on the front or whatever. It gets really crazy, but obviously Hot Wheels cars don't have any of these things, and they're not options to take like you can get on a Space Marine Dreadnought or anything like that. So what do? Well, you can just make it up as you go along and just kind of scratch build them. That's fun. I like that. I like that element to the whole Gaslands thing, because you're buying something that isn't the model anyway, and then you kind of make it up as you go along. But there are companies out there now specialised in 3D design, and they make weapons and conversion kits for 1/64th scale, approximate, because everyone is different. Stafford says Easy 8 pirate hats. I'm on board. Yeah, cool. Do it. Yeah, so you can have all these cool weapons, and I've actually recently seen Stafford has magnetised a load of weapon options, so every car can be re-customised, and because most of them are actually just metal, it's made the job so much easier. Stafford, love for you to put some photos up of all of your magnetisations, or even a little video if you wanted to on the Easy 8 Facebook. Please go ahead and do it. Yeah, so there's loads of options for Gaslands conversions and stuff out there. What am I going to do with this one? I don't really know. For now, I'll probably just say, it's not WYSIWYG, but the tournament that we are supposed to be playing in is that we're supposed to be doing WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. So, painting them all up and get them looking like they've got the weapons that they have. A friend of ours used to play Gaslands with us, and he had an exploding ram on the front of his car, and he just went through his bit box and found like a giant sidewinder missile and just strapped it to the bonnet. It was brilliant. Yeah, there's loads of stuff you can do. Obviously, you can raid your bits box and find something that might be out of scale but looks cool. You see a lot of bolters on Space Marine bolters on Gasland stuff. That's cool, man. But there's options out there as well. What I'm trying to do is just get them painted for the time being, and then perhaps, like Stafford, I'll have a go at magnetising, because I'm really into magnetising models and stuff. Jeff laughing along there with the pirate hats. Almost there, look, almost there. I'm going quite outrageously thick and heavy with the colour scheme now. Not something I really wanted to do, but I've built up enough of a paint base on it that I can get away with it. I don't know how this is going to go with the chipping medium underneath. I don't know if it's like too thick a colour. We'll find out. I'm probably going to make this the last attempt at it. Need to get loads of air on there. Getting that dry. Oh dear. Who told me to go with this? Oh, red would have been worse. I should have gone with gold. That would have gone well. I've got a couple of paint drops on there that are running under the pressure of the air. One by the door handle, but that'll probably peel away, or I can at least focus some effort on it as well. Just gonna have to clean that needle off. There we go. Hairdryer would have been a good idea. Let's turn that around. Oh, I've run out again. It's fourth time I'm filling up now. Crazy. Yellow, guys, over a brown base. Rubbish. It's going to look really good, though. I hope. Here was me being all calm and collected earlier on. I'm going to get it done. I'm not. like last week though. If I stay on for a few minutes at the end, it'd be alright. Easy 8 do's. I can't. Oh man, what? I can't see it today. Easy 8 d6s. Ah, might look like you rolled an 8 though. Yeah, it might do. That's cool. Yeah, I can get dice made. Man, if you guys want merch, if you're serious about it, I will look into it. Russian tanker's helmet on eBay, £15. Do you know what? I'll see what I can do. It'll be so cool. It'll be so cool. Okay, look, that's it. I'm out of paint again. I'm going to clean the airbrush out. That's it. Let's move on. Just going to purge the airbrush a minute, and then I could apply a little bit of air to that, and then I can peel it back, varnish everything. I really want that to dry. You have to push a little bit of cleaner through there. so much paint in there now that it's minging. That's the technical term, minging. Easy 8 helmets, like tank helmets. Yeah, I like it. Easy 8 army surplus. Maybe I should paint up a tank just black with Easy 8 as the symbol on the side. No, that'd be rubbish. Okay, cool. Oh, air. Let's get some air on it. Getting excited by ridiculous merchandise concepts. Oh, a little bit of dust or something that's settled on the bonnet has kind of been painted into it. It'll add to the effect, frankly. Now I could have turned it over and done all like the undercrofts, whatever you want to call them, that I was struggling to get with the rust earlier on. Not really bothered. I'm going to be pulling most of the paint off. As long as it has the brown rust colour on there, that's really what I wanted to achieve. Going to get a bit of air in, that Gilliman's flesh in there, just to help dry that. And what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to go back in on that now, while that's just drying there. Where's my Gilliman's flesh? That's Agrax. Here we go. Give that a quick shake up again. And now I'm going to go in quite heavy over everything in here. And it should make the bits that have already been painted quite dark, but still have a little bit of red showing through. And the seats should come up a little bit lighter. I don't really care about the quality of the paint job in there as long as it doesn't look totally rubbish. That is why I'm painting it in the first place, I suppose. Okay, cool. Right, you can go over there. I'm done with that. Wash my brush out. Excuse me. Right, a quick sip of beer. We are dry. Dry enough, I suppose. Right, this is one of my little dry brushes. Works really well for this. I'm gonna wet the end of the brush. I don't want it saturated. I'm going to soak the brush properly, make sure that water gets right into the bristles. And I'm just going to dab it off on the cloth there. Start off a little bit lighter. And I'm going to start on the bonnet, or if you're in the States, the hood. And then I'm just going to, bring the light a bit closer so you can see it a bit better. My hands and cast a shadow. Let's just work my way through. Reactivating the yellow a little bit. It's a heavy layer of paint, isn't it? Maybe I'll get a bit more saturated. There we go. There, I can see it breaking through. Oh, lovely. Little crack starting to appear. I'm going to turn that piece of tissue paper over now. Oh, lovely. Some nice flakes of paint coming away. I'm going to try and reduce the amount of flakes that stay on the paint job. Could have gone a little bit heavier with the chipping medium, but I wouldn't have known how much to use because I didn't know how much the yellow paint was I'd have to put on. Now the paint's created a skin. This is what I was talking about last week, is that because acrylic paint is basically a tight skin, it kind of creases up and it will create this kind of artifact here. I don't really mind it so much, but I don't like how thick and heavy it is there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with a pair of tweezers and see if I can tear that off. Great success. And again, I'm going to keep on doing that because the paint is so thick that it's going to come off in quite heavy layers. So that's something worth bearing in mind. If you have to put on a heavy layer of paint, it's going to come away in great big chunks. I can actually use the tweezers to scrape away, but I've actually gone down to the bare metal there. That's a bit of a shame, so I'm going to have to be quite gentle with these. I suppose that was to be expected. I could have done a layer of varnish before the chipping medium. Probably I'll have to remember that in the future. So I'm just going to be gentle around that a little bit there. I don't want to agitate that steel bit there anymore. That's a quick fix though. A quick fix. Get some big paint flakes there. That one's actually moved. That's kind of cool. I like that. Yellow is a difficult colour to work with when it comes to chipping. My fingertips are starting to actually wear through the whole paint scheme on the side. That's a shame. That's kind of ruined it a little bit on the side over there. I might have to do some like heavy griming or something. Maybe this isn't one that I'm going to be able to finish on the show. Finish it off over the next few hours, maybe in tomorrow morning or something. That's okay. I just like to get things done on the show because it's kind of nice, isn't it? Quite hard to get that first little bit of wear through the yellow. Agitate it enough, you start to get like a little bit of a tear in the paint, and then you can work on that little bit and you kind of just start to saw through it. Trying to get like a little bit of wear and tear on the top by the handle and across the top of the door rim there. That's cool, I like that. Pushing quite hard, so it's almost the ferrule of the paintbrush that's rubbing down on the paintwork there. Oh, gone through to the metal again. Yeah, I should have done a varnish. Varnish before chipping medium. Oh, and a second time. Oh dear, that's being tricksy. Do not like. Get back on the tissue paper, it's a little bit softer for you. Tissue paper sticking to the paper behind it. Well, I've learned a lot of lessons from last week on how to do things and kind of just confidently move through the project, but I'm encountering new problems, so this is a journey that I'm interested to kind of see through and see if I can like find a recipe that works well for me. Obviously I don't want all my Gaslands stuff to be chipped, just these ones. That's a big paint flake that's just run around the side. Get off. Paint flakes everywhere. This is a hard scrub. There we go. When it starts to go, and it goes, and then you've got to be gentle. Don't want to be pulling big skin bits off. In one go. When the paint comes off, it seems to want to take the brown layer with it. So I'm trying to be really careful when a like a layer of the yellow starts to go. It starts to tease it off a little bit. There we go. That was good. That was a good one. What's the villain in one of the Austin Powers movies where he saves his peeling skin? I feel like that guy. Yeah, that's a good one. It's a little bit frustrating going through to the bare metal in so many different areas, only a little bit here and there. Of course I'm going to go back in with a paintbrush with some of the charred brown colour and apply it and see if it kind of if it does the job. If not, it may be that I have to strip this one back. It's not a lot of effort. I was quite prepared to do it with the Death Bug last week because I thought that the colour scheme was too dark. Knowing that I could just strip it down in a little bit of alcohol and then come back in with the same technique and catch up within the same morning, I was quite prepared to do that. I don't want to, obviously, but if it makes the end result that little bit better, then it's definitely worth considering, isn't it? The lessons, of course, that I'm learning here is that I should varnish before applying the chipping medium, and a heavier layer of chipping medium if I'm going to do a lighter bodywork colour over the top of the rusty brown. This door here does not want to give over. Give me your rusty colours. Come on. Oh no. Straight down to the bare metal. That is an ultimate fail. Look at that. That has brought everything away. That is going to have to go into alcohol. There is no getting away from that. That is a real shame, because the whole evening had been success, 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 and that has stripped it right back down. That basically, yeah, needs me to do a protective layer of varnish over the base color of brown, and then a really heavy layer of chipping medium before I can start considering doing the yellow. That's fine. I'm quite prepared for that. But this is what I was saying about earlier on. It's good and healthy to see other people fail, so that when you come to do it, you know that you're not alone. It was starting to look really, really cool. Of course, what I don't have to do is all the other little bits, the furniture pieces here. I got the chassis, the base there, whatever. They're all good. So it's only this one piece here. That's a real shame. I will bring it up a little bit closer to the camera so you can see a little bit better. I can just pick it up with my hands, I suppose. There's no need to worry about it. So yeah, I was liking the way that it was going. I like the kind of big patchwork. The others have been quite small flakes remaining. Yeah, the Beetle was almost like a dry corrosion sort of effect. Oh, I'll bring it into shot. That was kind of cool. And this one had like big chunks, vibrant colour, but straight through. They're clearly not enough strength on the brown colours, the rust colours, and nowhere near enough the strength, sorry, the amount of required chipping medium on there. It's fine. I'm interested to see what it looks like when it dries. Obviously, there's a lot of water on here. If I could give it a blast with an airbrush now, help expedite it. It'll just be interesting to see what the big flaky bits of paint look like when they've all kind of bunched up down here. Interesting to see what they look like when they're dry. You've got a lot of water underneath them. They're basically water blisters. It's actually just peeling all the paint off. Look at that. That's how much paint was on there. So yeah, interesting. I might have to do a primer under the yellow over the top of it. I don't... Oh, interesting. No, I can't be bothered with that. Look at that, look. Peels away now, look. Of course it does. It's going everywhere. But yeah, I just want to see what it's like when it dries. One or two patches of bare metal would have been absolutely fine and easy to deal with. But like a whole door like that, that's a bummer. Never mind. That's okay, I'm not going to let it get me down. I'm just going to dip him straight in alcohol. I will take a picture of it and I'll stick it up on Facebook and show for the future my failures. Almost got there. It would have looked really cool though. It would have looked really cool. That's a good choice of colour, and it doesn't matter about the orange underneath. It still looks like it's a rusty body underneath all the paintwork on there. I like it. Jeff says, shame, you could do an odd colour replacement door. Yeah, that'd be cool, wouldn't it, actually? Could do, yeah, like certain panels of fenders or even the bonnet all different colours. What can you do but stay positive and carry on? What a shame. Well, it's all fun and games. Huh. Would love to know what you guys have, the results of all your work was this evening. So many of you have been working on projects today. 14 Iron Age forts. You said they were completed. Graham, I'd love to know how your Baneblade's going on. Luke, how's your Age of Sigmar? Is it Orcs? Can't remember what he said. Yeah, would love to know what's happening out there. So if you are interested in Easy 8 merchandise, I will put a separate thread up on Facebook. If you're interested in going to the Bovington Tank Museum to attend the Southwest Model Show, sort of mid to late February, the 19th and 20th, I will put another thread up there so that we can discuss that as well. I'm genuinely really excited about going. There's a good half a dozen of us, if not more, that are really wanting to go. There's a couple of us that are absolutely sold on it, and it's just a case of getting tickets and making sure that we have the days available to go. So yeah, I'd love to see. There's a few of you that are up country. I know it's a journey down, but it'll be really, really cool. If you could make it down, it would really solidify the Easy 8 brand. It would be really cool to meet you face to face and just discuss stuff. People have reached out over recent weeks and months saying that they want to, you know, kind of collaborate with Easy 8 and do things in the future. That's humbling, and I'm all on board for it, and there's not a better way to kind of discuss future adventures and stuff with the community that have come down to kind of be a part of it, because I make this content for them, and you know, to talk to you guys as well. That's just one of the many possible things that could come out of it. Also, lots of inspiration from seeing all the really cool models and all the other toys that are down there as well, and just to go through the museum because it's immense, and you get to see and touch all the real tanks and take photos and just generally have a lark. And then of course we can have a beer. That'd be great. All right, anyway, it's been fantastic this evening. Would love to know how you guys have got on. Write it down there in the description. Oh, sorry, in the comments. Oh, I was going to mess it up at some point when everything was going so well. You can write it down there in the comments if you want to. Don't forget that you can catch us also on Facebook. You can catch us on Instagram, and obviously we're over here on YouTube as well. If you want to have a chat with us over at Discord, I'm going to be about 10 minutes from the end of the show. My partner's come home with some food. I'm going to go and put some scram down there, and then I'm going to hop on over to the computer over there, and I'm going to go and see who's over on Discord this evening. So yeah, make a Discord login. Come and find Easy 8 and have a look at the immense amounts of work that Luke over there in the live chat has been doing since he started it all. He's the brainchild behind the after party, and I would love to see you there, or to speak with you over there, or just see what you want to type and we can have a lovely old chat. Anyway, Jeff, before we go, Hans said, I have some plans, drawings for you to look over the next time that you're around. Yeah, I would love to. This is about the ongoing projects that we've got for products coming out as a collaborative measure between the two of us. I'm really excited about it. Sketched pages of ideas out. Yeah, there's all sorts of opportunities for everybody to come out of that, and that's what I really like about it too. Anyway, that's really is enough for me. I made a model and then I ruined it. It happens sometimes. I'll take a picture of it quickly before I retire for the evening, and then I'll drop them in a big puddle of acid, alcohol. And yeah, Stafford says, working on my highway patrol cars and starting my European Miyazaki style team. Oh, interesting mix. So what do you reckon you're going to go with in the tournament, Stafford? Do you reckon you're going to go with the highway patrol, or are you going to go with a bit of Miyazaki? Interesting. Miyazaki, I love them. I think they're fantastic, and I'd love to see like a European style. I had a great idea when I was at work the other day. Italian job, minis, brilliant. That would be really cool. Absolutely no weapons, just skids, but fantastic. Anyway, yeah, if you want to carry on this discussion, please carry on down there in the comments, or take it over to over to Discord, take it over to Facebook if you want to. I will see you guys next week. No, I won't. I'm not here next week. I will be around on Facebook. I'll make a presence, but I'm away on the Isle of Wight. I'm going away for a ropes training course because my season is starting to come up. So yeah, there we go. Stafford says he doesn't know what he's going to do next year. Next year? What am I talking about? What he's going to do for the tournament? In my head's going in lots of different places. I'm going to ruin the end of the show. So I'm not going to be here next week. I will make sure that I am online. I'll do some videos wherever I am. I'm going to the Isle of Wight to go do some training, so I'm not going to be here. I'm away on some awkward days, which means I can't do the show earlier or even later, so I'm just going to have to postpone it for a fortnight. But do stay chatty. Get on Facebook over there. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. Take care now. See you soon. Bye-bye. I've ruined it. Can't paint anything, can't broadcast, just can't even talk. Rest in peace, Meatloaf.